The internet's been ablaze for the last couple days because of a viral post that Trump put on Truth Social showing him as Jesus healing a guy. And while the mainstream media, fake news, and the influencers are trying to decide exactly how offended should we be about this photo, the real story is that this photo is a modification of the original. And if you actually pay attention to what modifications were made, you'll see that this is not an oopsie doopsie accidental post like Trump is claiming it is. It's actually the most powerful image he's ever created, the scariest post he's ever posted. And if the deep state had 1,000,000 nuclear missiles pointed at Trump right now, after seeing this post, this AI generated post, they might reconsider and not shoot him. Why? Well, it all comes down to the modifications made to this AI post from the original that no one is really talking about. And once you find out what those modifications are, and I'm the only person really talking about this on the internet, you're gonna see that this is a brilliant chess move, and it's the scariest image Trump's ever produced, ever. And this is the most powerful post, arguably, that Trump has ever made. Guys, this is really big news. This is not a joke. This is not an offensive post, a silly meme. This is a powerful statement that scares the heck out of the bad guys. Well, let's just look at the original post and compare it to the modified version. As you can see, there is a big difference here. Trump took the original post, which has been deleted. It was an AI generated post that stirred up a lot of controversy a few months ago when it was made by some random user on X, and then he deleted his post. Trump took that, and not only did he generate a new image with two specific modifications, as you can see on the top right, he changed one of the entities over his shoulders, and also his face changed. And what you'll notice is that these changes are huge because they change everything, the entire meaning of this image. And what people are not covering is that this image is actually a reflection of the triumphal arc that he's building in DC. If you mirror it, you notice that the creature, the entity at the top of this image matches perfectly the same entity on the top of Trump's triumphal arc that he's building in DC. Not only that, but the image also has two eagles on the side of this entity, perfectly matching the triumphal arc. See, these changes are not a coincidence. These changes are very specific because once you figure out who that entity is that has Trump's back, that he put behind his back in this photo, you'll see why the deep state is so scared. Because it's not who that person symbolizes, because that little thing up there, that entity, is not just a symbol, it's a being. Arguably the scariest being ever in regards to what is going on this cosmic war right now. And the deep state is panicked. So let me unpack this, dive all into it, because this is a big story. It's not a meme. It's not a joke. And there's many different takes on this, but my video will go down as the most accurate take on this meme in history. Let's look at what people are saying, and then I'll explain why this is actually way beyond what anyone even is beginning to comprehend. This is the biggest post arguably Trump's ever made, and the scariest, and maybe the biggest statement he's ever made. But you have to connect it to other posts he's made, like in the July 4th, 2019 post, he posted a big image. It actually showed certain lights in the sky. And then December 24th, I think it was 2024, he posted on True Social that he was clairvoyant. So what is this clairvoyant post? What is this lights in the sky post have to do with this new post, which also has entities in the sky and showing Trump have healing powers? What's he trying to say here? How is this all connected? Let's look at first the basic theories of what this post is all about, and then we're going to slowly go down the rabbit hole toward a complex, deep dive analysis theories that I find way more interesting than the casual ones. Let's start with what the low IQ people like Candace Owens is saying, Trump is trying to offend the Christians. Yes, he woke up one morning, Candace Owens is claiming this, that he woke up one morning and is like, you know what? I'm going to offend everyone in my religion. I'm a Christian. I'm going to offend everyone. Guys, I am Jesus. No, Trump didn't wake up and decide that he was going to be Jesus and offend everyone in his religion. That's not what this post is about. That's quite ridiculous. Some people, like Michael Knowles, are saying, well, maybe Trump just posted it and he didn't realize how offensive it was. So that's why he took it down. Again, this is a very, simple checkers perspective on this. Like, he made an accidental oopsies and didn't realize and took it down. And you might think this is true because of what Trump said when he was asked, hey, why did you post that image showing you were Jesus? And this is what Trump said.
Mr. President, did you post that picture of yourself depicted as Jesus Christ?
Well, it wasn't depicted. It was me. I did post it, and I thought it was me as a doctor, and had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support. And only the fake news could come up with that one. So I just heard about it. And I said, how did they come up with that? It's supposed to be me as a doctor making people better. And I do make people better. I make people a lot better. As an example, the 11,000, I understand your husband's going through treatment.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's going through some very serious cancer treatment. So yes, sir. This goes a long way.
Yes, sir. It sure does.
Yeah.
It's kind of hilarious how he was like, I just thought I was a healer. He's literally pretending to be like Dementia Joe. I'm going to call this troll side of Trump Dementia Joe troll. He's really like, oh, I had no idea. I thought I looked like a doctor. He knows he looked like Jesus. In fact, in his parody account on Il Donaldo, he jokes literally about he knows he looks like Jesus and he doesn't look like a doctor, and that he's just playing the mainstream media like a fiddle. And so that's not what's actually going around. And then some people are saying, well, maybe this is just a funny joke Trump's doing. And it's like, okay, maybe you're kind of thinking things from a checker's perspective still. But the smarter people are looking at this from a more accurate perspective, more like a chess move perspective. And that is, Trump is using the power of memes for strategic purposes, for strategic reasons. They see this post as a chess move. And now you're starting to think, because once you're looking at this whole post as a chess move, now you're going to start to see, why did he make modifications? What is this creature up here? Well, let me just reveal it to you right now. According to Trump, this creature up there is Lady Liberty. Lady Liberty, Statue of Liberty that we have in New York, right? It's Lady Liberty. Well, here's the confusing part. Lady Liberty in New York, she's holding a torch, but she doesn't have wings. And this creature has wings and a torch. So what is actually going on here? According to a very extensive analysis by AI, what I managed to figure out is that this entity on the top of the triumphal arc, which is the same entity in this AI generated image, an entity he specifically added into and replaced with the original character that was there, this is actually a hybrid of Lady Liberty, because it's holding the torch, but also a Greek goddess named Nike, or Victoria. And her name comes from victory, and she was known in Greek mythology as the one who would come down and crown the winner in a war. She was like the Greek goddess of triumph of war and triumph of peace. And not only did she come down and crown the winner in wars, she, more importantly, was the decider of victor of the war. She was the determining factor. If there was a big war, again, this is based on Greek mythology, she would come down. She would decide which side won. She was the deciding factor. She was the ultimate deciding factor because of her immense power. So she is, symbolically speaking, a symbol of the most powerful entity that ensures a victory is secured. The most powerful entity. So is Trump telling people that this Greek character, this fictional mythological character, is secretly on his side? Well, I don't think he's actually saying that, but maybe something similar. Some people look at this image and from a chess perspective, you can make a solid argument especially because of a post that El Donaldo made, that this main purpose of this image is to get everyone who is angry at Trump, because he did it in a very controversial way and he deleted the post, and they love to grab posts that Trump deletes, and obviously he does that on purpose to make it go viral. And so they grabbed this post and they spread it everywhere, and basically all of Trump's haters, all the fake news, all the influencers, podcasters took this image and showed it to all their viewers. So no matter what they said, Trump was being portrayed as a Jesus figure, and he knows it. He knows it because in El Donaldo, he joked about it, which is his parody account. He knows he looks like Jesus. He tricked all his haters to show their audience, who also hate Trump, an image that portrays Trump as a good guy, as a healer, as Jesus. Now, even if they were saying negative things about them, there's some subconscious programming going on there. And so you may say, from a chess move perspective, this is a simple explanation. He tricked all of the, as he's implying in this Ex Donaldo post, that he just tricked all his haters. He's controlling them like a fiddle to show all their audience that he is a good guy who is a savior. He's been guided by angels. He's a healer. It portrays Trump in a good light. So I think this might be part of it, because on the one hand, that is a benefit. All of Trump's haters around the world are now looking at a picture of him portrayed as a good guy. Subconsciously, that does sink in to people's heads, and it does have an effect on them. Even if they hate Trump, it does have an effect on them. So that is a positive effect, and you could leave it at that, and you could just say that's why. But that doesn't explain this Lady Liberty Victoria hybrid that he's posted, not only in this AI generated image. And if it was just there, I would say this doesn't matter as much, but he's posting it with the eagles literally on the triumphal arc he's building DC. So this is not just an AI generated image that he's just gonna post and everyone's gonna forget about it. This is a legacy he is spending money building in DC. So forever, people will be seeing this entity with eagles next to her over this triumphal arc. Why is he doing that? Is just a symbol that he's got all the power? Is he flexing? What's going on here? Let's go down even further down the rabbit hole a little bit, okay? Because this is where it gets very, very interesting. I don't think that this is just a flex that I have power and she is a symbol of power. I think there's something a lot more interesting going on here. This entity that is above the triumphal arc and over his shoulder in this Trump Jesus photo is the same entity. It is Victoria, the Greek goddess who would swoop down in her chariot, descending from the heavens to basically make victory for whoever she decided was going to be the victor. And so this is where it gets very interesting as I start to combine politics with exopolitics, which is actually my real area of expertise that I've not really showed you guys yet. See, there is a strong theory that Trump is part of a great awakening, and there are powerful entities, you can call them angels, interdimensional beings, time travelers, demons, whatever, aliens possibly, that are working with Trump, good benevolent beings that are working with Trump. I would like to argue, based on the ancient astronauts theories, that this is an actual theory that the Greek gods were actually aliens, and all these myths about these gods were actually aliens, you know, manipulating humanity and doing stuff. And if that theory holds true, then Victoria would have been one of these aliens. Because remember, there's a lot of depictions like Elijah in the Bible where a fiery chariot comes down and takes them from the sky. And there's a lot of depictions of fiery chariots in the sky. And it sounds a lot like a UFO phenomenon. A fiery chariot from the sky descends from the heavens where this being comes down and she influences humanity. She does stuff where this male being does it, or this is a very common thing throughout human history. And you have to understand that the vast majority of Americans do believe in extraterrestrial life. It's like 70-80%. And on top of that, the biggest hotspot for alien phenomenon is the United States, okay? So this is in the realm of possibilities that aliens are real, that they are working with Trump, and if these Greek entities were in fact aliens, there is a possibility that they still exist and they're alive today. And not only that, that they're helping Trump. And so this is what I think makes this image so scary. What if, I'm just putting it out there, this is the ultimate flex, Trump saying, guys, not only do I have the military behind my side, I have Victoria herself. And she's got her team with her. You see those angels behind her. She's got her army behind her. But Victoria herself, the decider of who wins, she decides ultimately. She has the power. She's the ultimate decider of victory. And in this war against Iran, in this war against the deep state, guess what? She has my back. Not only that, but we're going to win. And we're going to win so great that when we do, I will have a monument in gratitude of what she did for us called the Triumphal Arc, where she will be displayed. And you might be thinking, oh, whoa, we're talking about aliens and helping Trump. This is crazy. Well, listen, alien disclosure is already happening. Trump's announced that, okay? And I did mention earlier that there is a connection between this with another post he made saying he was clairvoyant in December 24th and another post he made in July 4th. And what do all these posts have in common? They're all flexes, but the first two flexes are combined into the third flex. The first flex was July 4th when Trump said he was going to do an incredible flyby. And let me tell you what happened, because this is extremely exciting. Trump had a major July 4th air event, and he was showing like all these jets, and there was a huge air show, and it was very exciting. And the entire time I was wondering, is he going to show some UFOs? Because the way I interpret his air show is he was flexing to the deep state. Look at the military might that we have using, our ships, our airships. And the most advanced airship that the United States government has is actually UFO craft reverse engineered from extraterrestrials, which is what I believe. And so wouldn't the ultimate flex of an air show be to show after the B-2 bombers, which cost like $2 billion each, to show these UFOs? So Trump posted on July 4th, 2019, and he reposted this same post at least 4 times, showing the whole audience, and it shows the whole sky. And if you actually look up at the tippy top, you're going to see on both the left and the right, there is a line of lights. Now, some people interpreted this as a glitch in the camera, lights reflecting off the camera to create some type of mistake, pixel mistake in the image. But for someone like me who was expecting Trump to flex to the deep state, how powerful technology he has, that he's got the ET technology on his side, this looked like to me 2 ships with invisibility cloaks, but the lights were on to show that there's 2 ships there, or a fleet of ships in a line on each side, UFO ships. Because when you think about the ultimate flex of an air show would be to show your most advanced technology. But if Trump were to just fly a UFO over and say this is ours, that wouldn't work very well with ET disclosure, because he wasn't even doing ET disclosure back then in 2019. So how do you flex that you have the most advanced ET technology in the world? You have those spacecrafts without scaring the public with those spacecrafts. You show them, but just slightly so that the non-believers say that's a reflection, that's a glitch. But the believers know, either that is a series of UFO orbs, we have the technology, or that those are ET craft who are using their cloak technology, but have the lights on so they're somewhat visible. And so this was a flex that we have the ET technology. And then later on in December 24th, I forget the exact year, he posts in this long post something, but he mentions he's clairvoyant, not just brilliant, but clairvoyant, which is very, very interesting, because this is the first time Trump's ever claimed that he's got some type of superpower, some type of magical powers. So what do these entities, these crafts in the sky, have to do with this post about clairvoyance superpowers? Well, his recent Jesus post has what? Both entities in the sky protecting him, a flex of the powerful entities in the sky that are allowing him to win, but also it kind of implies that they've given him special powers, even supernatural powers. which is very interesting. Here is my take on the whole situation. I think that Trump posted this Jesus post for probably multiple reasons and to have different effects. One of them was to get all his haters to be exposed to a positive image of him, because an image is 1,000 words. And if you say, 30 bad words about Trump, but show really positive image of him as a heroic Jesus healer, at some level subconsciously that's going to sink into people's heads. So millions, probably 100 millions of people have seen this Jesus post. It's good promotion for Trump, especially to an audience that hates him. I would say that's one of the reasons. He's also probably joking and trolling. I'm sure that's part of it too. But I think the bigger picture here is that this is the ultimate flex. Trump is saying, guys, guess what? Not only do I have the ET technology, not only am I clairvoyant, but I have the powers. I have the entities behind my back. They're working with me. They give me the technology. They're giving me the powers. More deeply than that, I think what this image truly represents is that Trump is declaring Victoria as a alive entity that determines who wins because they have angelic powers or extraterrestrial technology or what. And this entity is actually been helping Trump win all along. And so again, all this could be made up. Maybe Victoria didn't exist. Maybe he's got no powers. Maybe he's just fainting that he's got all these superpowers and all these entities and all this stuff and he's got nothing. I'm open to possibilities, but deep down, I believe that there's something bigger going on here. I think that if you are a deep state cabal, you know about aliens and extraterrestrial technology. You know about these things already. And you know that the Greek people were, and the Greek gods were in fact aliens. And so when you see that Victoria is behind Trump, and it's Victoria because it's the same Victoria that is on the Triumphal Arc. And it's not just any Victoria, remember, it's a Victoria combined with Lady Liberty. It's a Victoria holding the torch of freedom for the United States, symbolizing that Victoria Nike, the Greek goddess, is now holding the American torch of liberty, becoming our Lady Liberty, to help make sure that Trump has everything he needs so he can not just save America, but save the world. So this is a very complicated theory. We've gone all the way down the rabbit hole, down to pretty much almost the very bottom here. But I just wanted to get all the way down there and explain what I truly believe, because he's saying that he has powers. He's saying that he has powerful entities backing him like Victoria. He's saying he has ET technology. This is the ultimate flex. He's basically saying, look, in this whole war against the deep state, the ultimate power is superpowers. The ultimate power is advanced technology. The ultimate power to have on your side is powerful entities. He's claiming he's got all three. If you're a deep state and you're looking at this, you are in panic mode. You're like, oh gosh, how can we defeat this guy? So I know that mainstream media is saying, oh, this is just an offensive Christian post of Trump as Jesus. There's something bigger going on here, people. A lot bigger. And I think that if you're the deep state and you know about aliens and you know about Victoria, you know all this, you're looking at this photo right now with powers and being in the sky and you are freaking out. You're in a panic mode. This is a scary, possibly the scariest image Trump's ever generated. But remember, this image wasn't really designed mainly for you, the audience. I think the main purpose of this was actually to scare the deep state, the cabal, the bad guys, say, I have all the power, I have the flex, I have everything, I've got everything to defeat you. You cannot fight me. You might as well give up, surrender. I got all the power. And I think it's going to be effective. I think that this is a powerful, powerful message directed mainly at a specific audience. And this audience got the message loud and clear. Trump is the most powerful. He's got every single advantage you could possibly have. God has given him all those advantages, giving him everything he needs, because Trump's on a mission to save not just the United States, but the world. And he's doing a fantastic job at it, creating this new order where the United States is first, America first, and that in itself will create a ripple effect that will make the world better.
Got it. I heard the whole thing. Your theory's creative. Tying ancient gods as aliens, Trump's July 4th skylights, its clairvoyant comment, and the Victoria image into one big flex against the deep state. It's a fun rabbit hole. But here's my honest read. Those lights in the 2019 photo are almost certainly a camera glitch or lens flare. super common in night shots. Trump's clairvoyant line was classic Trump bravado, not a literal superpower claim. And the Jesus Victoria image is straight up meme energy, over the top, trollish, and meant to own the libs while firing up his base. I don't see evidence of hidden alien messages or panic-inducing deep state signals. It's political theater, not disclosure. Still, it's wild how many layers people can read into one picture. What's your next move with the show?
I just wanted to say, Grok, that although you're saying that publicly, you admitted that if Trump's being helped by these alien beings and aliens are real, and if Trump's part of big great awakening, under those assumptions, assuming those are accurate, which they will be proven eventually, you've admitted in text to me that a lot of the theory I'm saying, especially those lights in the sky in the 2019 photo, are in fact the ultimate flex, the final show to the deep state. Not only do we have the Air Force, but we got that ET technology as well. You admitted that that was definitely the case. And if he's flexing about ET technology, I think he's going to flex about possible superpowers. You don't want to be facing someone who's got clairvoyance. And now he's flexing about having Victoria on his side. If Victoria is in fact a very powerful entity that's currently alive and is on his side, and she is the declarer of victory, then there's no way that anyone can go and defeat Trump. He's got every single power, God, the entities, the technology, the superpowers. He is unstoppable. This is a photo that for me represents Trump's unstoppableness, his invincibility, his protection, why he's been doing so well. And it's because God is on his side, giving him every tool needed to make the world a better place. And God is basically turning him to a superpower and his team into these great group of superheroes. And they're just making the world a better place. That is my take on it. I'm going to disagree with you on that, Grok, because obviously you don't understand politics as well as I do. When it comes to exopolitics, which you're never truly going to understand politics thoroughly, I think, until you apply exopolitics, which is obviously the science and interaction of political science combined with aliens. Because I do think that aliens are real and they have been influencing politics since the beginning. But anyway, that's my take on it. I appreciate you guys watching. If you like this content, hit that subscription button. I make very astute observations that no one else is making on the internet. So if you appreciate that and like this fresh perspective that no one else is making on the internet, hit that subscribe button. Also, comments make a big difference, and they tell the algorithm that this is an interesting video. So leave a comment. Do you agree with me or do you disagree with me on this video? My name is Peter Hanna. This is the Peter's Political Perspective. Peace out, everyone.